Welcome to Team DataFam Tableau User Group meeting number 15. This tug's a little bit different where we cater for the presenter rather than the audience. So we're meeting tonight because this is when Khalid's available. He's actually in Morocco. So all meetings are recorded and put on YouTube for later viewing by everybody. And if anyone else wants to present at this tug, please get in touch. We can organise a time to suit you, usually. And obviously, if you want to get in touch, my email address is team.datafam@gmail.com. Today, we've got Khalid presenting Turning Business Requirements into Insights, a credit risk dashboard use case in Tableau, where we're going to obviously walk through how to build a credit risk dashboard and what that means and how to build KPIs, intuitive dashboards, etc. So I'll pass it over to you, Khalid.
Thank you so much, Chris. I am honored to be present today at your session. Thank you for the invitation. I will share my screen now. So, hello everybody, and welcome to this session about turning business requirements into insights. And we will take the credit risk dashboard as a use case. So, why I would like to talk about this topic today? Because I saw that many talks like talking about data visualization process, and I would like to speak about the steps before creating the dashboard. It means that the process from the beginning. So today we will go the process from A to Z in order to know how to create the dashboards with the real use case. So today in this session is about turning the needs of stakeholders into effective dashboards. We will focus on use case of credit risk because I am a data analyst working in BMCE in Morocco, which is a part of BNP Paribas, banking firm, and I am usually working on these projects. So I would like to share with you today, during this session, this use case related to credit risk. So in this case, we will work through a credit risk dashboard scenario. The scenario is the risk department wants to monitor unpaid clients. It means the clients who didn't pay their credit, and track outstanding credit amount and view clients with their rating. If you know, each client in the bank have a rating related to if he paid or not his credits. This use case will get us through the full dashboard process from the beginning. Okay, don't hesitate to post your question to Chris, so I could answer you later. The, the content of our session is beginning with business need emergence from risk department. Then we will talk about the collaboration between the product owner and the data analyst, and we will see how this collaboration makes the data analyst help him to create the dashboard at the end. Best practice and lessons learned, and finally question and answers. Okay, so I would like to start by business needs requirements. Why? Because every dashboard starts with business needs requirements. It means that the needs is from a department which is finance, management control, risk, etc. So in this case, we will take risk. Um, it starts with business. It starts with stakeholders requirements. So these requirements are englobed in a document, which is named, in our case, business need requirements from stakeholders. It contains context of the project, okay, the stakeholders' names, uh, why this project is important, and why we need a dashboard. It contains KPIs they should track via the dashboard, and the version of business needs. It means that they called sent us business requirements version 1, then version 2, etc. So we should make sure that the business need requirements document is updated. Then in these meetings, because we do meetings with stakeholders. In these meetings, there are three parts: data analyst, which is responsible of technical part; product owner, which is responsible for the functional part; and stakeholders. What is the role of product owner and data analyst? We will walk through with these roles to understand the importance of this schema. It means that product owner has the functional expertise to translate the business need requirement to data analysts who have the technical expertise to make the dashboards. Okay, in this part, we should ask a lot of questions, or we should ask the right questions. Why? If we don't ask the right questions, we will just make dashboards, because a lot of departments say that we have necessity to have the dashboards, but we ask why we would like these dashboards, why, for example, we would like to track clients with default rating, etc. Sometimes we find ourselves that the department needs only a weekly extraction. Okay, they don't need really the dashboard, because we should put in our brain that stakeholders don't understand what's the dashboard is, etc. So we should ask the right questions, and all the details we will say and look at them. Then the rules involved. I dedicate separated slides to this, because in my case, in my opinion, it's very important. I didn't know this before joining the bank, but this is the structure all the bank use. It means when a stakeholder express a need for a dashboard, a product owner is here. So the product owner brings the deep and functional understanding and the expertise of the needs. It is a crucial role to have in the meeting, because he owns the vision and the context of the dashboards and of the department as well. It helps the data analyst to translate the business goals into the data expression requirements, and it acts like the bridge between stakeholders and the data analysts. So that's why we should have a product owner, or maybe in other environment a business analyst, in order to have this ability to translate the functional requirement in the document to the technical requirement to the data analyst or data engineer. The role of data analyst in this meeting is to interpret. um, should I, Chris, should I look at the chat to answer, or at the end?
I think at the end it's just Faraj talking about dashboards. I'm replying to him as well. So That's okay.
Oh,
Depends on
okay.
what you want to do. It's your choice.
Okay. I will take it on at the end.
Easy.
So I said that the role of the data analyst is to interpret and structure the express of need. It identifies the required data sources for the, the the stakeholders dashboard needs, and it helps him, the presence of the data analyst at the meeting, it helps him to sketch and design the dashboard in his brain before going through the details. So the collaboration between both align technical delivery with business expectations. It clarifies ambiguous points early, like metrics, rules, um, user needs, etc. And it leads to a faster delivery when we have these three parts, which is product owner, data analyst, and stakeholders. It helps us to fast delivery and understand very well the need before taking steps to dashboard development. All right. Next step is the analyzing of the expression of need. So this document is very crucial, which I mentioned at the beginning. So it contains the project context. In our case, the project, which is risk dashboards. What is the context? So, for example, the context is there is a regulatory case which we should track clients with high risk rates. Okay, sorry. Uh, the timeline, the document we put the stakeholders put in the document the timeline, which means when when we need emergency these dashboards, is it in 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months, etc. And here the product owner should make a time slot for the dashboards. For example, if we have in the team only two data analysts, so we don't have much resources, and we can take at the moment your business needs or your dashboard needs. So this is the role of product owner. So product owner know the context, know how to manage their resources, and know how to collaborate and how to answer stakeholders. And data analyst, when we join the analytics team, he pushes the technical expertise and not the functional expertise to answer these type of questions. The document also has functional specification, like definition of KPIs they want, filters they want on the dashboard, segments to track. For example, is it retail segment or corporate segment? For example, in our case, business rules are also here. Why? Because they should define the rule of the direction of the risk towards the expression of need. Is it the frequency of uses of the dashboard? Is it monthly or weekly, etc.? And stakeholders who will use or validate the dashboard, because we need a document after creation of the dashboard. We need a document of sign off. What is the sign off? Sign off, it means that when I deliver the dashboard, I am waiting from you as stakeholders, I am waiting of a sign off. It means that if you validate or not my dashboard. So uh, in the expression of need document, I should have the name of the stakeholders who will validate my dashboard and send me the sign off document after putting the dashboard on the production environment. Here in this meeting, when we analyze the expression of need with stakeholders, we should ask the right questions. Right questions like, what the problem are you trying to solve? Because before um, before doing this meeting with data analyst and the product owner, maybe they tried before to solve this problem via an Excel dashboard or an Excel using VBA code, etc. So maybe there are some tentatives, some tries to solve the problem. So I should ask this question to understand the context. What is the problem you are trying to solve? Um, and on the other hand, maybe this question will help me if they need really a dashboard or not. Maybe just an extraction to send monthly or weekly basis and not the dashboards. This question helps me also to know if I should mobilize data analyst resources and product owner to create the dashboards. Maybe I will use product owner, data analysts, and lot of sprint planning, etc., to create the dashboard. And at the end, I will find that they need only an extraction, a simple extraction, or a simple metric to send them weekly or monthly basis, and not a dashboard. So this question will help to understand their needs really. Second question, why do you need a dashboard and not just a report? So this question is very important also to know if they really need the creation, the dashboard, and put a data analyst aside to create and to understand the expression of need in starting to mock up the dashboard on Figma and developing the dashboard in Tableau, etc., and training the people, etc. So asking this question will help me to track this. What decision will this help support? So when we are asking the decision will this help to support via the dashboard, I can understand via this question if how much KPI I can create for them to and understand their needs, because when we are asking what decision will this help support via the dashboard, I can understand the context, I can understand deeply the context of the dashboards they need. And is it a sample extraction sufficient? It means, as I mentioned in the beginning, maybe they are not uh, needing a real dashboard. Maybe it's just an extraction. And as I mentioned, stakeholders uh, confuse between reporting, extraction, and the dashboard. And your role as data analyst or product owner is to delete this ambiguity and try to clarify to them via asking the right questions if they need really a dashboard. So, asking the right questions helps to validate whether a dashboard is the right solution before, and this is a big word, investing time in the resources. Because when you are working in analytics team, you are a resource for this team, and you should put your efforts in the right place. That's why asking right questions to stakeholders is a crucial step before moving to the next step, which is technical mapping. Don't hesitate to put your question in the chat so I can see it at the end and to answer them, or you can ask Chris privately. You are always welcome. So if you don't have any question, I will go to the second part, third part, which is data mapping and validation. So what is data mapping? Data mapping is the next step, which is verify and identify all necessary data fields exist in my database. Maybe databases or data lake, data warehouse. The idea is to verify if the all data I have in the expression of need, I have it in my databases. For example, I read in the expression of need that stakeholders need to track the rating of clients. So I ask if this data, which is rating, is available in the system, because this is the system of the bank, and we made an extraction and we put them in a data lake, okay, or in a cloud. Then we connect Tableau with the cloud. So I should verify if the data is in the cloud. Okay, if not, so I have two scenarios. Scenario one, if yes, okay, so it exists. If not, we should contact the data engineer to ingest the data I need from the system, okay, to the cloud or to the database, okay, before going to Tableau to find it. Okay, so identify if all necessary data fields exist. Okay, this is the first step. If data is missing, for example, score or rating, so we should plan for data ingestion. This is the step where we should contact and make a connection with the data engineer team to respond to this need and confirm data quality. So in the we have in the cloud data quality metrics like validity, completeness, conformity, etc. So we should firstly verify if we have good data quality. Okay, uh, we'll receive a question and I will answer all this at the end. Uh, Chris, keep me updated.
Yep, that's okay. I wasn't going to interfere with your flow, but that's fine. We can do it at the end.
Thank you so much. We should confirm the data quality of our business needs. So we should implement before uh, that data quality metrics like completeness, validity, conformity, freshness, etc. So these are some well-known data quality metrics to implement to verify if our data is in a good quality to avoid having bad or wrong KPIs. Okay. So here I put some examples. For example, credit score is stored in a separate risk tool because in the bank we calculate the credit score via a separated tool. In our case, SAS, if you know it. So we calculate the credit score or rating with this tool. So we have the database of clients stored in a tool, the credit score in another tool, and I should verify that all data I have in expression need are stored in one cloud or one database to begin my analysis in Tableau. So this is the technical mapping. Map each KPI and metrics in data sources in transformation logic, identify joins relationship between tables, and define update frequency. In our case, we have two types, which is monthly and weekly. Some banks have daily, especially for market risk. So in the market risk, they have daily frequency. So these metrics are defined by stakeholders. So you should ask stakeholders what is the frequency of updating your dashboards, and it's a good question to know, based on their needs, how you should update and define the update frequency of the dashboard. So a dashboard is only as good as the data behind it. That's why we should verify the technical mapping and the good data quality metrics. If you don't have any question, I will go to the next one, which is prototyping. So after defining the technical mapping and validate the expression need with stakeholders, we can prototype the dashboard. Prototype the dashboard as DataFam do, and with the tool, with the well-known tool, which is Figma. So Figma is a prototyping tool which I use frequently in a daily basis. Why? Sorry, should okay. So why we should prototype and not going into directly to development in Tableau. So prototyping make me aligns with the business vision with stakeholders layout. Imagine if I develop this dashboard in Tableau directly, uh, and I present the dashboards or the prototyping of the dashboard in Tableau desktop to stakeholders, and then they give me some remarks. So it will take some time to correct and to align with his vision before presenting the new version to the stakeholders next time. So it takes time. So when we are talking about prototyping, in the first place, we are talking about the time we will gain, because when we are prototyping in Figma, it's very fast. This is the first, and we don't need a data set to make the dashboard. We should just know how to use the tool and have already some bar charts, pay charts, and some graphics existing in Figma, and start prototyping and presenting to the stakeholders. Okay, so prototype gains time, align business vision with dashboard layout. It helps also stakeholders visualize the end results before seeing the final results in the production environment, and they reduce rework and miscommunication later, because when we develop the dashboard, the prototyping in W desktop and presenting to it, it's this is based on other data analyst experiences. They reduce rework and miscommunication later. So that's why it's best either Figma or PowerPoint or Photoshop or maybe Excel Draw, which is a tool that I discovered lately. These all have one objective, which is prototyping the dashboard. The tools I use in my work is Figma, which gives you a lot of functionalities, and it's friendly, user friendly. Okay, better than PowerPoint in my opinion. So if you can learn it, it's a good investment in your work as data analyst. The prototyping gives you the step to collaboration, which is you can review mockups with product owner and key users. So before presenting the mockup or the prototyping of the dashboard, the product owner, because as I mentioned at the beginning, have the functional expertise, and he knows very well if your prototyping as responding to the needs of stakeholders. So you should firstly present the prototyping you made in Figma to the product owner. When validated by product owner, then you can schedule a meeting with stakeholders to present your final prototyping and use feedback to guide layout, interaction, and usability. So accept feedbacks from your product owner whom you are working with, and to adjust the final prototyping layout before presenting to the stakeholders. So a visual prototype bridge the gap between the technical team and the business or stakeholders, ensuring everyone is aligned before the development starts. Now, after validating the prototyping in Figma, now we can go to dashboard development in Tableau. So dashboard development, we have layout and structure. So design based on audience profile. Um, when you are developing your dashboards, think about your audience. Why? Because if your audience, for example, is executives or top management, you should not put a lot of information on the dashboards. You should only put the very important information, like the information they track, like they don't need, for example, uh, details about who is this client, has the lowest rating credits or the rating score. They need an overall overview about the situation of their client by segment, for example, or the total credits in paid, or the average score by of all the clients of the bank. So something like this, something like overview. Always focus on the overview for executives. But for operational, here you should add a button to download Excel because they will surely ask for it, or add a listing navigation in your dashboards, because if you don't add it at the first time, make sure that the next month you will receive an email about that to add an Excel button or a listing or a table in your dashboards for the operational team, because operational team don't need the overview page. Okay, they need the details in order to contact these clients with a lower score credit risk. Okay, so at the end, what we should as data analysts know is the audience. So define your audience, who will use this dashboard. So by this question you will answer what is your audience, plus KPIs cards at the top of immediate visibility. So as you saw on Tableau Public, for the business dashboard section, all the KPIs cards are on the top. So we always or frequently use uh, top-down approach, which is we put on the top KPIs, and by the end we have details about every KPIs, or every KPIs by details by a segment, or in a map. We can map, for example, this KPI in a map, or have a short table, etc. So we have some details uh, in the down of KPIs. Also, add interactive filters like time, period. Always have this idea of adding filters, so stakeholders or operational team have the ability to filter, to have what they need. So for the filters, always ask them and the expression need, what are the filters you are needing in your dashboards, so you avoid to ask this question in your dashboard development step. For the visualization, uh, you should, in the business environment, always we opt for simple visualization or simple graphics. Why? Because the goal is not to create a dashboard with hard visualization to impress them. They need one thing. They need a dashboard to answer question and to take decisions. That's all. So always think about that. Think about the finality, the goal of the dashboard for the stakeholders. Okay, so stakeholders need simple visualization like bar charts, line chart for time and to track, for example, credit risk score by month or by days. Donut charts to know the credit risk by segments in retail or corporate or wealth management, uh, and some tables at the second navigation button to the dashboard. So tables to have the detailed view of the client and have the client level breakdown. So I have ID client, name, city, state, credit score, and the amount of the credit, etc. So a table with client level breakdown is essential in business dashboard scenarios. Last, design best practices. So design best practices are important. So for example, if you work on a company with a logo, so I should respect the the logo charts or colors of my company, and I should have some white space in my dashboard, some simple design steps, which is very popular in the DataFam community, which I use it in my business development dashboard process. Finally, I I don't see the screen. Maybe do you see my screen?
Yeah, it just stopped sharing then, so you probably need to reshare it.
Okay, okay. Let me know if you see it.
Yep, it's back. Testing in production.
Okay, testing and production, testing and production deployment. Yes. So in this step, after open the dashboard in Tableau desktop or Tableau, yes, Tableau desktop or Tableau server, because there is a team that develops dashboards in Tableau server as information. So when we are developing the dashboard, we should test it. So before put this dashboard in the production environment, we should test with product owner and stakeholders. So we schedule a meeting to show the version of the dashboard in the test environment. So there is three environments: development environment, the test environment, and the production environment. So here we will put the dashboard and the production environment to be visual for the team of risk direction or risk department. Okay. So now after developing the dashboard, we are moving it to the test environment. So the pre-production testing environment. So here we validate the data accuracy and KPI calculation with stakeholders. Um, Usually the stakeholders have, for example, an Excel sheet or a reporting in Excel, and they see what you are producing on Tableau and match it with what they have in their existing reporting, like in a report in Excel. So they verify by looking at the existing report in Excel with what you are producing on Tableau. So to know if what you produce it on Tableau is correct or not. Okay. They check filter logic, interactivity in the layout, so they experiment the whole experience on the dashboard. Is it working or not? So they filter, they click on button if you add actions to the dashboard, etc. They they perform what we call user acceptance testing. So this what I am talking about. So they experience the whole things you are putting on the dashboard, like filters, actions, uh, moving to next button navigation of the dashboard, etc. So to make sure that the dashboard is well defined, and also to give you at the end the sign off document that the validates that this dashboard is well working. Okay. After that, after the validation of stakeholders and the testing environment, we move to the production deployment, which is we move the dashboard from the testing environment to the production environment. So here we set up the data refresh schedule. Is it daily or weekly or monthly? And we sure the performance optimization. So here, for example, it will be live if or extract. We can talk about that before, but sometimes when we found that the dashboard is not performant, we can adjust this before putting when we are putting the dashboard in the production environment with stakeholders. And final step is the user access and training. So, for example, stakeholders have 10 business user in his team, okay, and they want to access to the dashboard, so they send us their emails or UID or ID. So we called give them the access to the dashboards in the folder in Tableau server, and define the user role, if they can only a viewer or explorer, or have the ability to download the dashboard in PDF, or download the table as CSV or Excel, etc. So we define these rules and access rights with stakeholders. With final step, we give a training session for the stakeholders and business users that will use the dashboards, and we give them a dashboard guide or documentation if needed. Okay, so they can use very well the dashboard and profit from it. A successful dashboard doesn't end at delivery. It includes testing, access control, and user onboarding to ensure adoption and value. So always make sure that the development of the dashboard in Tableau is the final step. So you should make sure in the testing environment that everything is well. If you want that everything is well in the testing environment, you should always pay attention in analyzing the expression of need, verify the technical mapping before beginning the development on Tableau desktop. You should validate the mockup of the dashboard with stakeholders. So all these things will reduce time and will you gain your time in the development and have the validation, the final validation of stakeholders, because they are very strict towards dashboard creation. Finally, uh, finally, because there is only 5 minutes, I put here some best practice in towards dashboard performance. We can do a separate session if Chris wants about a demo in the dashboard and how all these best practices in related to calculation and the development environment will help us to have a best performance of the dashboard that is loved and liked by stakeholders. I am just going walk through this best practice and go to the questions. So always more move calculation to the backend data source where possible. Why? For example, uh, LODs calculation. So I always avoid to put the LODs calculation in my Tableau, in my development environment. I always contact the data engineer who is working with me, and I give them the calculation of LOD and to put it in the source. Okay, don't put it on the desktop as calculated field, because it will affect badly the performance of the dashboard. Okay, so use Boolean calculation instead of if statement. This is a very important the very important point that I saw on a LinkedIn post, and when I use it, I remark that it's really helping me in my development process. So, for example, a expression of if date equal today, then today, else not today, for example. So this is not necessary. You can only put a boolean that equal today. That's it. So you have a boolean type data, which is 0 1, that will affect your performance dashboards. Avoid redundant logic in your calculation. This is also a very strong step in your performance. So if you have many conditions, like if credit amount is less than 100, then etc., else if amount of credit is superior at etc., try to avoid this redundant logic in your calculation, because it will affect badly your dashboard performance. Avoid using attributes as much as you can. So in my case, I for in some calculation I use minimum. For example, if attribute category is equal corporate, I use if minimum category equal corporates. It's much better. Use also Tableau native features like Elias, for example. So Elias, eh, to avoid create a calculation to change names of fields, try to use Elias. It will surely help your dashboard performance. Use number formatting. So in place to use some icon in your calculated field, try to use the number formatting, so you will uh, you will affect the performance of the dashboard in a good way. So use and operator instead of nested conditions. use an operator to reduce the number of cases. If you have a long condition with or operator, you can use in, which is performant better than or, um, and that's it. And finally, what I can advise you is to put a checklist. So this checklist, where you, if you are doing the analyze of your expression of need very well, so make a checklist of all the process from the analyzing the expression of need, the technical mapping, mock up the dashboard, development in Tableau desktop, and verify if you follow best practice in performance, and testing environment and production, and training your users. So I made this checklist to check every step if it is validated and well doing or not. Um, I think that's all for this to give to the use participants, and I will answer their question. Uh, Thank you so much for your participation. I am glad to be here, and welcome to all your question.
So Viraj had to drop off because he's in India, so he's trying to work during the day, obviously. But he had a comment that a dashboard is not always a requirement. At times, just a data snapshot is what they need. I had one project where they came to the requirement of dashboard only to ask for the download data button. So that wasn't really a question. Paul was saying, how do you define a dashboard versus a report versus an extract? What is the delineation, and when does a report qualify as a dashboard?
Is it in the chat?
Yes, it's just up a little bit. So Paul
Okay.
Dickens, yep.
Yeah. Yes. How do you define dashboard versus report versus Excel? What is the delineation when those reports qualify as a dashboard? Okay. So for extract, the definition of extract is a raw data point, typically in Excel or CSV or PDF format. So there is no interactivity or visual. Okay, it's used for just a manual review or further analysis or ad hoc analysis. Okay, so for example, a monthly export of overdue loans or credits, a client list with credit rating, or this. So this extract to send via emails only. Okay, and reports is a structured and static document. So often summarized or tabular, and that presents predefined metrics in a readable format, often refreshed regularly, so in a daily or weekly or monthly basis. For example, regulatory credit risk reports with formatted tables. Okay, but the difference is the dashboard is an interactive and visual tool built, built for real-time exploration for KPIs, and it lets user filter or drill down and interact with the data to gain insights in real time and make decisions. I hope I answered your question, Paul. Let me know if it's clear or not. Second question. Uh,
Um,
the data has to be dashboard ready and nowadays AI ready. If 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 it isn't, you are stuck and then locked in confusion with stakeholders. I don't think this is a question,
no,
but
it's just a comment.
uh, yeah, right.
So Steve's question right down the end. what was the most surprising requirement you got from a stakeholder during these sessions you and the PO ran, which sounded great, by the way? So was there any surprising requirements came out from your stakeholder
Yeah.
meetings?
What was the most important requirement you got from stakeholders in those session you and which something I do? One of the most surprising and honestly insightful requirements came during a session with the risk department. The stakeholders asked if the dashboards uh, called predict which clients were likely to default based on their current behavior and profile. So the the, the stakeholders ask us this question to predict if the client will be in a default rate. Default rate, it means that they will not pay the credits based on profiles. It means name, state, city, and age. And I was like, this is not impossible. Tableau can do that. And they want this in 1 month. So I still remember of this, and it's really surprising me.
And Andy's question, he said, one thing I didn't hear in your talk was regarding pushing back and asking why. What are your thoughts on the need to push back, and how do you do it?
That's a great point, and it's something I strongly believe in. Uh, One of our most important responsibilities is to challenge requests constructively, not just to deliver what's asked, but to ensure what's asked truly solve the right problem. So, in your talk regarding pushing back, I always ask why. I didn't put all the questions but in analyzing the requirement needs, we always ask why, especially when the stakeholders answer me the question. So I said why. So I go deep in his answer to understand and to go to make sure if I got his idea or not, and to define exactly if they need a dashboards or not. So this is a great point that you mentioned, and I am totally agree with you, Andy. Our creative department have similar. You are welcome, Steve, and I am here. We can get in touch, and I can show you a demo of similar dashboards related to credit risk, and you are most welcome. Andy, thank you. You are welcome, Andy, and I am here for any other question. And I am glad. I hope you liked it, and I hope I answered your questions. And thank you, Chris, for the moderation. You are a
Awesome.
great moderator.
Sometimes it's hard to do a presentation and read the chat at the same time. So yeah, it's good that you were trying to do that as well, because it's difficult to sort of have a train of thought while you're talking, but also track the conversation that's happening in the chat as well. So if you'd like to keep in touch with Khalid, he's all the details there, Tableau Public, LinkedIn, X/Twitter, etc.
Thank you so
So
much.
you're right. So just turning the
Everybody
tables
out
a
there.
little bit, just 5 quick questions of just obviously Tableau related, but again, there's no wrong answers. It's more just your personal feelings on what these questions are.
Okay.
I hope they relate to your experience as well. So the first question is, do you feel more creative or analytical when you're using Tableau?
I feel like more analytical when using it.
Yep.
Uh,
And do you feel more energized at the start of a dashboard or when it's almost done?
um, feel more energy. In my opinion, in my experience, when I start a new dashboard, it's more energized, to be
Yep.
honest,
Yep.
because
That's
you
good.
start with the taking the business requirement for stakeholders and analyze it and gain knowledge about new functionality. So that's make me energized, very energized.
Yep. Perfect. And do you enjoy spending time formatting tooltips, or do you skip that detail?
I I spend time for formatting soul types, but it's not enjoyed. I can't skip it
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
because of stakeholders.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because stakeholders is the answer for everything, really.
Exactly.
And are you and again, I wrote these questions before I actually saw your presentation. So are you a build as you go kind of person, or do you plan your dashboards first? Now that I've seen your
Uh,
presentation, that's obvious.
yes. uh, are you a build as you go? Yes, first choice, of
Yep.
course.
And finally, do you prefer showing all the filters to the users or keeping it clean and guided?
The- in my I prefer to show in all filters to users.
Yep.
And I use for that the show hide button for filters to in showing all filters and in same time keeping it clean and guided. So this feature of show hide button of filter let me do this twice.
Yep. Yeah. So you do both at the same time, which is good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so
So
much, Chris.
So the next tug meeting is on Thursday. Yes, that's Thursday, June the 19th, depending on where you are in the world, but 6 p.m. if you're in the Sydney area in Australia. Obviously, for Khaled's time, it's more early in the morning, and the US has got to get up really early as well. But Erin Sue is going to be presenting the visual grammar of colour, which is the same presentation that he did at the Visit Sydney conference last week. So going through how colour helps with the language of visualization and stuff like that. So again, register, you can use the QR code or just go to the user group's website as well. And this presentation and every other presentation that we do and a whole heap of other tugs do is available on the YouTube channel at Team DataFam. And if you're not at a computer or anywhere where you can watch YouTube, you can always watch the listen to the Spotify podcast or the Apple podcast as well. Those come out fairly regularly. And if anyone wants to present or they've got any questions, email me at team.datafam@gmail.com. So again, thank you, Khalid, for the presentation. That was awesome. It was good to see how you go through that process and some of the milestones and the key objectives when you're actually building that. It was good to see that you build in Figma as a wireframe and then go through and do that process as well.
Thank you so much, you are most welcome. And thank you for the invitation once again.
That's okay. And if you've got some time, I'll just go through and unmute everybody so that they can talk as well. As I said, Viraj had to leave because he's in the middle of his working day. So as I make everyone a presenter, just feel free to unmute yourself if you want to. And as soon as I do that, Andy drops off, which is fine. It's like I make you a presenter and then he disappears.
I solved Andy's problem by cooking for my partner before the session. She was like, why are we having dinner so early, Steve? Because
I didn't see that comment.
Yeah.
You had to run because it was dinner time.
Hey, I really appreciated that. I enjoyed that. Thank you, Khalid.
You are welcome, Steve, and glad that we share some common point like
Yeah.
data risk dashboards.
Yeah, I see we're already connected on LinkedIn, so I may reach out. We've done quite a bit of work on credit risk with our credit department. Be interesting to compare notes.
You are most welcome. I will be happy to connect with you.
Awesome.
And Morocco, it's 9:18 in the morning.
For you, yeah.
What time is it in your place, guys?
Well, for me, it's 6 p.m., which means for Steve, it's 8 p.m. And I think Paul's in the same time zone as me, right? Paul, you're Sydney-based?
Yeah, I'm Sydney-based and getting hungry. But I appreciate your presentation, Khalid. It'd be good to see your dashboards. And I would like some of the, artifacts that you use to do some of this stuff, because rather than regenerate it, I mean, and clearly, we are fairly primitive in what we do in our organisation. We only have a production environment. So it goes in live. It's like doing live TV. There's no recording, pre-recording. So so it would be useful to have some of those things like your business requirements documentation, the checklist, that sort of thing, and the sign-off document and that sort of thing, I mean, there's obviously other places to source those sort of things, and they're just available on, I guess, agile places and whatever, but something that you've used would be useful.
Thank you so much, Paul, for your feedback. I appreciate it. So,
Okay.
thank you so much for all. I should go because I have work the morning.
You're just starting for the day. We've just finished.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot
See
for
you
the
later.
time.
Bye bye,
Okay. Talk to you
and
soon.
keep in
See
touch.
you. Okay. Bye.
Bye bye.